Mike, check. Justin Hunt. It's all happening. Thank you to everybody rocking with the channel. Thank you to everybody subscribe to the channel, share the video, share the link. It's priceless. Big thank you to everyone who's donated. If you'd like to donate, hit the Cash App. That's right up there, or you can hit the link in the description. Also, if you're interested, there's a link in the description to my Discord. You can join the Discord. Big shout out to Ant, Lils, Javen, everybody over there holding it down. I'll actually be on there later today or maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure. We'll have to see how this goes. I have been very busy. And the best kind of busy too. One, I've been in writing mode. I've got a cover story. I've got a book snippet that I'm doing, and I have a breakdown that I'm almost done with. And then also another production project that I've been working on for a while is coming along very nicely. So I'm gonna have some really great updates for you guys. Thank you guys for being patient. As always, chart report. You know what time it is. Chart report. 1 second applause to chart report. All right, this week's chart report, we got some changes, not a whole lot. I think the biggest story with chart report right now is we're waiting to see what happens next week with Cardi B's album. Am I the Drama? 1 second applause, Am I the Drama? And I've been listening to it quite a bit. I like it. I enjoy Cardi B's album. Now, next week is when we'll see how well it performs on the charts, but certain things are already locked in. One, it's platinum. So shout out to Cardi B for going platinum. And that's because she included Up and WAP, which have been out for 4 to 5 years now. So the success of those songs is helping boost the overall RIAA certification metrics around the entire project. So it's officially platinum. And right now it's looking like she's probably going to do 200K, if not more, which I look at as a success, all things considered, particularly since her debut, I think it did 250, 225, 250. So she's not far off from there, despite a 7-year hiatus, 9-year hiatus, I guess if you look at it from 2016. It's diss tracks and relationship raps. I enjoy it. There's a lot of good songs on there too. Let me know what you think about Cardi B. Outside, which is one of the songs we've been talking about here on the charts all summer, is on this project. And it actually fits very well in that portion of the album. That's sort of the capstone ending to the relationship arc that takes place in the middle of the project. I'll get into that in more detail. But we'll see what she does next week. This week, still at number one, Golden, Huntrix, EJ, Audrey Nuna, and Ray Ami. Last week, number one, peak position number one, 13 weeks in the chart. 1 second applause. K-Pop Demon Hunter still running the game. Now, I think there might be some softness with the album. Last week, the album was actually at number one, K-Pop Demon Hunter's soundtrack. We'll see where it is on the 200 here shortly. But big shout out to them. You guys know I like this movie. You got to fight your inner demons. What are we doing if we're not fighting our inner demons? It's like Kendrick Lamar said, I used to think it was me against the world till I found out it was me versus me. 1 second applause. Number 2, Ordinary, Alex Warren. Last week, number 2, peak position number 1, 32 weeks on the chart. I'm a big fan of this song too. Awesome arena ballad. Crazy success this track has had. And it was one of the finalists for Song of the Summer. I think it actually won Song of the Summer from Billboard. So 1 second applause to Alex Warren. Number 3, Manchild, Sabrina Carpenter. Last week, number 3, peak position number 1, 15 weeks on the chart. Lead single from her current album, which is out now, Man's Best Friend. Let me know if you guys are still rocking with this. Stays flat from last week. 1 second applause to Sabrina Carpenter. Number 4, What I Want, Ilyuk Gross featuring Tate McRae. Number 5, Soda Pop, Soulja Boys, Andrew Choi, Neckwave, Danny Chung, Kevin Wu, and Samuel Lee. Last week, number 5, peak position number 5, 12 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. Number 6, Your Idol, Soulja Boys, Andrew Choi, Neckwave, Danny Chung, Kevin Wu, and Samuel Lee. Last week, number 4, peak position number 4, 13 weeks on the chart. So these two have switched. And both of these are from K-Pop Demon Hunter soundtrack. Running it up all summer. Big shout out to both of those. 1 second applause. Number 7, creeping back up, Love Me Not, Raven Lene. Been in the top 10 for the past 8 to 10 weeks, I'd say. Last week, number 9, peak position number 5, 25 weeks on the chart. One of my favorite songs that's come out this year, 100%. If you haven't heard this song, punch yourself in the face. 1 second applause to Raven Lene. Number 8, Daisy's Justin Bieber. Last week, number 10, peak position number 2, 10 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause to JB. Number 9, Lose Control, Teddy Swims. I feel like it's got real estate in the top 10. This song has got real estate. It hasn't gone anywhere in years, literally years. Last week was number 11, peak position number 1, 109 weeks on the chart. Big shout out to Teddy Swims. 1 second applause. And number 10, How It's Done. Huntrix, EJ, Audrey Nuna, and Ray Ami. Last week, number 8, peak position number 8. 12 weeks on the chart, also from K-Pop Demon Hunter soundtrack. 1 second applause. 40% of the top 10 is K-Pop Demon Hunters. 40%. If you got kids, I know that they out here rocking the K-pop Demon Hunters t-shirts. Nothing wrong with that. Number 11, Die With a Smile, Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. Number 12, Tears, Sabrina Carpenter. Number 13, I Got Better. No, you didn't. Ew, yuck, gross. 14, Mutt, Leon Thomas. Said, baby, I'm a dog, I'm a mutt. Ooh, never gets old. Never gets old. 1 second applause, my man, Leon Thomas. Last week, number 14, peak position number 12, 33 weeks on the chart. Heard some Leon Thomas news that crept across my timeline last week. I hope it's not true. We'll see what happens with that, but big shout out to Leon Thomas. Number 15, a bar song, Tipsy, Shaboozey, still running it up. Last week, number 16, peak position number 1, 75 weeks on the chart. 75 weeks on the chart for my man Shaboozey. 1 second applause. Number 16, Beautiful Things, Benson Boone. Number 17, Just In Case, Ew Yuck Gross. Number 18, Undressed, Somber. Number 19, What It Sounds Like, Hunte, EJ, Audrey Nuna, and Ray Ami. Last week, 15, peak position 15, 12 weeks on the chart. Also from K-pop Demon Hunters. 1 second applause. Number 20, Good News, Shaboozey. Last week, 19, peak position 12, 43 weeks on the chart. I talk about this all the time as an example of people being able to talk about the zeitgeist, what people are experiencing in the world right now. And this song captures it lovely. There's another song on this chart this week that also does that. And we'll get to that song there as well. I have a different take on that song, but also I do not like the song. I'm not a fan of the song itself, but it's also another example of the point that I continue to make week after week. Every artist has the opportunity now to capture the spirit of what people are going through, to capture what they're going through. And right now, I personally feel like there's a lot of outside conversations that don't necessarily align with the spirit of the age. I think if you are still if you're still making music that is very reveling in life's excesses, I'm not sure you're hitting the zeitgeist, but Shaboozey's Good News, always right on time. 1 second applause. Still in the top 20. 21, I'm the Problem. Yes, you are. Ew, Yuck, Gross. 22, Pink Pony Club, Chaperone. 23, Back to Friends, Somber. 24, Takedown, Huntrix, EJ, Audrey Nuna, and Ray Ami. Last week, 21, peak position 21, 12 weeks on the chart. K-pop Demon Hunters diss track. 1 second applause. 25, Mystical Magical, Benson Boone. 26, Luther, Kendrick Lamar, and SZA. Last week, 26, peak position number 1, 43 weeks on the chart. Dot is back on tour. He is in Mexico. I think he was in Mexico City this week. He's back outside. And I keep hearing people try to pull push the same narrative every time. If I see another tweet, if I see another bunch of people post, man, looks like Dot's not selling out this stadium. It looks like Dot ain't selling out this stadium. Only to wait a couple of hours and look at the same site and it says, oh, stadium sold out. He's selling out stadiums globally right now. Fantastic album, fantastic tour, fantastic song. Big shout out to Luther, Kendrick Lamar, and SZA. 1 second applause. 27, Free, Rumi, Genu, EJ, and Andrew Choi. Last week, 24, peak position 23, 12 weeks on the chart. Also from K-pop Demon Hunters. This is the penultimate song. This is when all loose ends are resolved. That was a good part of the movie too. 1 second applause. 28, Happened to Me, Russell Dickerson. 29, Folded, Kehlani. Last week, 34, peak position 29, 14 weeks on the chart. New peak, new all-time peak for Kehlani. I watched her Tiny Desk concert, and I mean, she's just so eloquent in how she speaks. And she talked about how we need to really donate our money to things that matter at this point in life. She shouted out Palestine, she shouted out Sudan, she shouted out Congo. And she's someone who I believe has done a great job of facing the backlash that she received earlier this year for speaking how she felt about the fact that we need to stop funding genocide. I don't think that should be a polarizing thing to say, but it was in the case of Kehlani. And the fact that she continues to rise and continue to have success, I'm all for it. I really love her collaboration with Cardi B, Safe. That's what I would consider is the beginning of the relationship arc on Cardi B's Am I the Drama. Probably the most streamed song so far from that album. I would expect it to get a video if it hasn't already. I think it might have just dropped and I just haven't seen it. But that song, I think we're going to hear more of in the future. Kehlani and Cardi B, Safe, but big shout out to Kehlani. Folded. Oh, there was another viral video this viral clip that went around this week. I think it was 21 Savage singing Folded to Lotto. Big shout out to Lotto. 1 second applause. She was also on Cardi B's the remix to Airtime, which is one of the best songs on that project too. It's all happening for Kehlani. She's a part of a whole bunch of different storylines, and I think she deserves it. She carries herself gracefully. Last week, 34, peak position 29, 14 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. Man I Need coming in at number 30, Olivia Dean. Last week, 37, peak position 30, 4 weeks on the chart. I talked about this song. I talked about it. I've been talking about this song every week. I'm like, yo, this is a good joint. It went from like 97 to 80 something to 37, and now it's number 30. Creeping into the top 20 next week, I expect it. I don't think this is going anywhere. This is a great R&B song from Olivia Dean, who's out the UK. Check it out if you missed it. 1 second applause. 31, When Did You Get Hot? Sabrina Carpenter. 32, Yukon, Justin Bieber. 33, Burning Blue. I'm sorry. You know, that's the thing about diss tracks, right? Some diss tracks become so sticky that they sort of impact the perception that you have of an artist. When Glorilla went at Mariah the Scientist, a Young Thug, it was like, Burning Blue. I hear that now before I hear her song. And this is a fantastic joint. Big shout out to Mariah the Scientist. Last week, 35, peak position 25, 20 weeks on the chart. Burning Blue. 1 second applause. 34, It Depends. Chris Brown featuring Bryson Tiller. Last week, 38, peak position 32, 8 weeks on the chart. Great song too. 1 second applause. 35, All the Way, Big X Plug featuring Bailey Zimmerman, the torchbearer, I would say, of this rap and country era that we're in currently. This song really set the stage. It was a top 10 single, still in the top 40. Last week, 32, peak position number 4, 24 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. 36, Nobody's Son, Sabrina Carpenter. 37, Sorry I'm Here for Someone Else, Benson Boone. 38, Bottle Rocket, Scott McCreery and Hootie and the Blowfish. Last week, 46, peak position 38, 13 weeks on the chart. Love this song too. Big fan of this song. Big fan of Hootie and the Blowfish. It samples Hold My Hand, I think. But I think that Scotty McCreery has some legs in his career. I think he's a really talented singer. 1 second applause. 39, No Broke Boys, Disco Lines and Tinashe. Last week, 48, peak position 39, 10 weeks on the chart. New peak for Tinashe. Finding hits in 2025. She deserves it all. 1 second applause. Number 40, Somebody Loves Me, Party Next Door, Uyuk Drake and Cash Cobain. Last week, 27, peak position 27, 22 weeks on the chart. Now it's down to number 40. And in a way, I feel like this is a re-entrant because when the album, Some Sexy Songs for You, initially dropped, this was one of the songs that was stickier in the first quarter of the year. And they've recently dropped a video, so that's why it's here on the charts again. Down to number 40. 41, 12 to 12, Somber. 42, Worst Way, Riley Green. 43, Bar None, Jordan Davis. 44, The Dead Dance, Lady Gaga. 45, Gabriella, Cat's Eye. 46, Revolving Door, Tate McRae. 47, Back in the Saddle, Luke Combs. 48, All the Bars Are Closed, Thomas Rhett. 49, Jealous Type, Doja Cat. Last week, 50, peak position 28, 4 weeks on the chart. There is a listening tonight on Apple Music. I think they're previewing her new album, which we've been talking about the past couple of weeks here too. I'm really interested in seeing what Doja Cat can do with this next project. I think this is more pop leaning. This song definitely is much more pop leaning. It's got an 80s vibe to it. Doja Cat was on Gayle King, I think it was Gayle King. And they asked her what kind of artist she is. And she says, I'm a hip hop artist that does pop. I'm a hip hop artist that does pop songs. Because that's the debate. That's a real debate. People debate whether or not Doja Cat is hip hop. Now, I don't see how she's not hip hop. Just because you make pop doesn't mean you're not hip hop. I mean, she comes through hip hop. She comes through rapping. You know, that's where her origins are. I think she spends more time making broader range of music than just rap, rather. But I always consider her a hip hop artist, and she said, I think she's a hip hop artist who makes pop music, and I don't think that's it's like that scene from Oppenheimer. It's paradoxical, and yet it works. I think those things can be true. Two things can be true at the same time. Let me know what you guys think about that. Where do you consider Doja Cat? Do you consider hip hop? Do you consider her pop? And are you looking forward to her new album? 1 second applause to Doja Cat. 50, House Tour, Sabrina Carpenter. 51, Hell at Night, Big X Plug featuring Ella Langley. Last week, 59, peak position 35, 6 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. 52, Sugar on My Tongue, Tyler the Creator. Last week, 56, peak position 41, 9 weeks on the chart. This is the song that I hurt my shoulder during leg day in the gym. I hurt my shoulder during leg day in the gym while this Tyler the Creator song was on. There's an update. So now I'm back to doing full workouts again. I'm using lighter weight. I'm using lighter weight because my shoulder's not all the way there. I wonder if it'll ever be there again. You know, sometimes you're like, oh man, that one's going to stick with you for a minute. I think this shoulder thing might be a thing. So what I've done is, this is my first week back doing the full workouts. I use the Body app. Shout out to Beachbody. And so their Body app, I do Joel's Lift More, his 8-week workout plan. Big shout out to Joel. One second applause to Joel at Body app. And so prior to this, for the 2 weeks prior, I was doing the express workouts, which is only maybe two blocks of exercises. And then you move on to HIIT and core, or HIIT or core, because I would do core instead of HIIT training most days on the express workout. And now I'm back to doing the full workouts, still with lighter weights, and I feel it. My whole body is out here just like screaming at me in a good way, though. So big shout out to Tyler, the Creator. Sugar on my tongue. That's the update to my summertime injury. 1 second applause. 53, Doghouse, Yuck Drake, Julia Wolf, and Yeat. New entrant. And so this is the Yeat song that everyone has been talking about that was part of episode 3 of the Iceman stream. Maybe it's episode 4. I think it's episode 3. And it still seems like Homeboy is searching for a hit. And this one, we'll see where it goes. We'll see how sticky it is. Yeat is a massive artist. Young people love him. And so this collaboration, to me personally, just feels forced. It doesn't feel natural. It feels like old dude in the club type energy for Yuck Drake in this situation. But it debuts at number 53. I don't know, man. I don't know. Every time I look up, people telling me they're acting like homie went away. But he's dropping. He's dropping so crazy. I had a thought around this Iceman and also Jay Electronica's series of projects that he's dropped. And Jay Electronica's mixtapes, I don't even say mixtapes, but they're EPs primarily. I think he's dropped 3 EPs, maybe 3 or 4 EPs. More snippets than music, but it seems like it is part of a larger rollout. This seems like there are some breadcrumbs that you follow to different places. He is playing off of the movie The Prestige, the Christopher Nolan movie, if I'm not mistaken, The Prestige, where it talks about the stages of a magic trick. In the beginning, there's an item, and then the next stage is to make that item disappear, but the real challenge, the prestige, is to bring that album back. So perhaps that's a metaphor to Jay Electronica's career. He also seems to only drop whenever the world's in turmoil. That meme's been going around as well. That meme's been going around so much that Jay Electronica included comments people were saying on Twitter about that in the last edition that he dropped. My point is, I'm listening to these Jay Electronica EPs. I don't really know what he's doing. I don't get it. There's clearly a message in there. He's always had a lot of messages. There's this idea that he has more skits than music on most of his projects, but I don't think that's the case, and that hasn't always been the case. But that is something he does, so this isn't outside of necessarily his wheelhouse. But I don't get it, and I don't know what's happening, right? And so now I'm in the middle of this Jay Electronica rollout, and I'm like, what does this mean? What does that mean? Oh, okay, cool. This is maybe, well does that little snippet there, does that connect to this news snippet that's in here? What's happening? What's going on? And I feel that way about Iceman. Is this Iceman album even coming? Is Drake I'm watching live streams of Drake carry a bag around and Pinocchio's following him, and it's weird. It's weird. I don't know what's going on. And with that rollout, there's way more other stuff than music. Other things than music. I'm watching him hang out in an ice box. I'm watching him walk into an empty pool. I'm watching him sit around in a big theater. What do they call it? The Court of the Owls looking theater. There's just more stuff than there is actual music. So I found myself with Jay Electronica, who's one of my favorite lyricists of all time, thinking about his rollout, trying to figure out what it means and piece it together. At the same time, Drake is doing the same thing. So I don't know what that means, but that song Doghouse was on the last episode of the Iceman rollout. We shall see where that goes. That's something else I've been writing this week. I've been writing about Jay Electronica also. And so these are just some preview thoughts that I've been having because I don't know what's going on with his rollout right now. And I still don't know what's going on with this Iceman, if we'll even get this project as it seems to be billed. Let me know what you think about Jay Electronica's project and what you think about this latest Yuck Drake song, Doghouse, Julia Wolf, and Yeat. Number 54, House Again, Hudson Westbrook. 55, Just Keep Watching, Tate McRae. 56, 6 Months Later, Megan Maroney. 57, Somewhere Over Laredo, Lainey Wilson. 58, Camera, Ed Sheeran. New entrant, 1 second applause. Now, had to be 4 months ago. I started talking about, there's a new Ed Sheeran project coming. And I can't remember the song, but he had one song that was hanging around in sort of the mid-60s, mid-50s throughout the spring. And Ed Sheeran is such a big artist that I felt like we needed to hear more from him. That song fell off the charts. They released another song that was on the charts for maybe a week or two. And now we have this song, Camera, and the album is out. And I feel like I've just been missing the rollout. I haven't heard much about it. And maybe I'm not in the Ed Sheeran sphere of influence, but I like Ed Sheeran's music. And I'm used to Ed Sheeran being everywhere. Shout out to his appearance on Game of Thrones. 1 second applause. I don't have that feeling this time with Ed Sheeran. Let me know if you guys are hearing him or seeing him more than I am. And if you're a fan of his music and what you think about this project yet. I haven't heard it yet. 1 second applause to Ed Sheeran. 59, Takedown, Zhang Yang, Gio, and Che Young of Twice. 60, Backup Plan, Bailey Zimmerman and Luke Combs. 61, Strategy, Twice. 62, Go-Go Juice, Sabrina Carpenter. 63, The Subway, Chapel Roan. 64, You're Way Better, Forrest Frank. 65, Wildflower, Billie Eilish. 66, WGFT, Gunna featuring Burna Boy. Last week, 69. This week, 66. 6 weeks on the chart. New peak. 1 second applause. Keeps creeping up. Keeps creeping up. Like every week it's moved up. Generally speaking, prior to this week, it's been moving up 8 to 10 spots a week. So we'll see how high this can go. Let me know if you guys are rocking with Gunna and Burna Boy. 1 second applause again. 67, Sugar Talking, Sabrina Carpenter. 68, My Man on Willpower, Sabrina Carpenter. 69, Heart of Stone, Jelly Roll. 70, Goodbye, Sabrina Carpenter. She's still running the charts. And I guess that's my answer. You know, people are still rocking with Man's Best Friend because Man's Best Friend is rocking these charts. 1 second applause. 71, Last One to Know, Gavin Addict. 72, Amen, Shabuzi and Jelly Roll. Last week, 72, peak position 56, 21 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. 2 former rappers doing it big in country. 73, Better Me For You, Brown Eyes, Max McNown. 74, Sienna the Marias. 75, Eternity, Alex Warren. 76, Don't Mind If I Do, Riley Green featuring Ella Langley. 77, Charlie, Tom MacDonald, new entrant. And this is what I mean. Okay, so Tom MacDonald, if you haven't heard him, you're probably lucky. His music is not very good. It's not very good. He's from Canada. He's probably the second biggest rapper from Canada right now. I think that's fair to say. He runs it up on the charts. He has a very dedicated fan base. He's an independent artist, and he is a right-wing rapper. Right. And so this song is dedicated to Charlie Kirk. And he's talking about how Charlie was assassinated by woke extremists. No, woke terrorists. He calls it woke terrorists. Right. Now, the majority of Tom MacDonald's, at least buzzworthy music, are political raps. He did a collaboration with Ben Shapiro. He wrote some raps for Ben Shapiro and had Ben Shapiro rap, believe it or not.
Tomato.
That's what it sounds like. And so, but the thing about Tom MacDonald, right, is that one, that song that he did with Ben Shapiro always stood out to me. It was so crazy because when he was doing news interviews around it, maybe the only one he really did was on the Daily Wire with Ben Shapiro. But he said something that I thought was just a crazy inversion of the hip hop story. Like the history of hip hop, right? He said, if you really think about it, hip hop is created to destroy white people. That's what he said. And he said, because, you know, it's all about like disrespecting women and being a thug and being a gangster, and who listens to the most rap music is white men. So he feels like hip hop is an attack on white men. So he flips that narrative and provides a palatable right-wing rapper. You know, that's basically what it is. But my point is, which is the crazy thing, like whether or not I believe that's true, whether or not anyone believes that's true. That was one of the first times I've ever heard that. I'm used to people saying, or at least my community talking about the impact that hip hop has had positively and or negatively on the Black community. I've never heard someone use rap basically to diss Black people or things Black people care about and say that the whole thing is there to attack white people. That is a brand new level of tomato. Just never heard of it. But here's the thing about Tom MacDonald. Again, he's pretty much specializes in political raps. Like this song, Charlie's here. He'll have songs talking about Democrats or the demons and all kinds of stuff, right? I probably misquoted that, but things in that direction. And I'm always encountering people telling me that people who are on the other side of the conversation from Tom MacDonald shouldn't write raps about the political environment. It's one of those things, it's like with Cardi B. Cardi B is a very politically vocal person in her social media. Things she cares about, she talks about passionately. I believe she gave a speech for Kamala, if I'm not mistaken, or Joe Biden, something like that. But there's no reference of any of that kind of stuff. There's no songs about it on her album. There's no songs about it, right? Most artists these days are staying away from overtly political content. And I think that's just something that's carried over since that Overton window has shifted so far right? And the idea that if you talk about certain politics, you're not going to be successful. And a lot of times that's framed as if you talk about politics at all, you're not going to be successful in this environment. Okay. Well, Tom MacDonald is the contrary to this. Tom MacDonald, this song right here is the other song I was talking about when I was talking about Shaboozie's Good News. This is a debut. They cracked the Hot 100. He's an independent artist. You know, is a song for Charlie Kirk and people who follow Charlie Kirk. It's littered with misinformation, but that doesn't matter, right? This is an overtly political rapper who is making overtly political music and is having charting success doing it. And so to me, that's something that is contrary to a broader narrative or idea that I hear quite frequently when it comes to why don't artists talk about other things that are happening in the world anymore? Whether or not I agree with Charlie Kirk, true, but Tom MacDonald and his song Charlie. That song is capturing what people are experiencing that he connects to and he relates to. It's capturing the spirit of the age. It's capturing the zeitgeist. And ended up number 77 on the Billboard charts. Okay, now this song is, I believe most of it was sales. I think he did 7,000 sales the first day or so. I think he sold 7,000, maybe got up to 18,000 by the end of the tracking week. The video is sitting on YouTube at 9 million views in 2 weeks, right? And it's an example to me of how passionate his audience is. But he's also an example that is contrary to the broader narrative that's being sold all the time, and at least for the past 10 to 15 years. You start talking about political things, you become polarizing. Well, in the case of Tom MacDonald, he has found his tribe. He has found his tribe. I was having a Twitter conversation with someone who was asking me, where are the public enemies? Where are the dead presidents? Where are those artists right now in this landscape? You know, we have Infinity Knives, we have Bob Villain, you know, we have a number of different artists I think are of that ilk, but I don't think we support them the same way that we maybe supported a public enemy, the same way we supported maybe a dead prez, you know, from certain levels of conversation. I think there's a lot of fractured energy when it comes to how we react to people saying real and deep stuff. Okay. But I don't see that energy on the other side, because along with this song, Charlie, I saw another song from a cat that I've been at rap festivals, rap conventions, conferences with, who done flipped and put the red hat on, and now he's making lynching anthems. Okay. The point is, you make music that connects with people, I think you're gonna find outside success. And I think that officially includes being able to have political conversations as well. If you find the right way to do it, I think it works, because everybody across the world is experiencing the weight of the politics of their homeland in one way or another. And this song, Charlie by Tom MacDonald, is another example of that. So, to Tom MacDonald. 78, Marlboro Rojo, Frazier Regita. 79, nice to meet you, Miles Smith. My man's Miles Smith. Last week, 81, peak position 76, 16 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. 80, what did I miss? Ooh, yuck, Drake. Last week, 71, peak position 2, 11 weeks on the chart. Sliding again. 81, Is It a Crime? Mariah the Scientist and Caliucas. Last week, 85, peak position 59, 6 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. 82, 20 Cigarettes. Ooh, yuck, gross. 83, City Walls. 21 Pilots. New entrant. 1 second applause. 84, Never Getting Laid. Sabrina Carpenter. 85, Sparks. Coldplay. 86, Breaking Dishes. Rihanna. New entrant. 1 second applause. I haven't heard this yet. Let me know what you think about in the comments section. 87, Typa, Glorilla, My Type of Song. Last week, number 90, peak position 42, 14 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. 88, How Far Does a Goodbye Go? Jason Aldean, new entrant. 1 second applause. 89, I'm a Little Crazy. Ooh, yuck, gross. 90, Shot Calling, YoungBoy Never Broke Again. New entrant. 1 second applause. NBA YoungBoy's been running it up on tour, guys. He has been running it up on tour. He's doing arena tours. Big controversy this week because his show in Chicago was canceled, and it was canceled by the city. The city canceled it. The city was concerned there was going to be violence there. And so there's a long history of strife between NBA YoungBoy, Lil Durk, King Von, Lil Pop. I think it's Lil Pop. Yeah, Lil Pop, I think it is. I always get those two confused. And so people in Chicago were very upset that the show was canceled, but there was also a lot of people in Chicago who were very happy, quote unquote ops, so to speak, that was canceled because in Chicago, the Lil Durk show, a lot of the drill artists really in Chicago at a point in time had difficulty putting on big shows in their city. And so, but away from just the Chicago one, dog, nobody got it like YoungBoy right now. Nobody got it like YoungBoy. You want to go see an arena full of young black people and at a rap show? YoungBoy might be the only one that can do it. Might be the only one that can do it. And his lore is crazy, right? He had to go sit down for a while. The way he ran up his numbers on YouTube, meeting the youth where they were and how he put out his music. The overhead, he might get, I'm making this up, but let's say he got a $2 million deal to put out songs. he would use his homies, producers and home studios, and the costs were so low that it was just a great deal for the label situation. Just the impact that he's had because his life and his lore is so ingrained in the generation is very unique. Very, very, very unique. And I can only think of a couple of times in history where I've seen this type of reaction that a generation is having to an artist. I saw women crying in tears all over social media because YoungBoy's Chicago show was canceled. There is something crazy that's going on here. And I have another piece that I'm in the middle of writing around this as well to really talk about this. But shout out to YoungBoy, never broke again. 1 second applause. 91, we almost broke up again last night. Sabrina Carpenter. 92, Shake It to the Max. Fly, Molly, Silent Addy, Skillabang, and Shensia. Last week, number 89, peak position 44. 18 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. 93, Outside, Cardi B. Last week, 96, peak position 10, 13 weeks on the chart. Listening to the album, I think Airtime would have been a better lead single. I get Outside, but I listen to Outside, and it sounds like Up. It sounds like the same song. Airtime is a different kind of energy. It's got a hard in the paint kind of energy to it with some Cash Money flows in there. And it is a summertime joint. I feel like Airtime should have came before Outside and Imaginary Players. Now, all three of them basically have the same, they're basically the same song, contextually, basically. But I love Airtime. Airtime goes so hard. And Outside sounds so much like Up. It's still in the charts. Also, like I talked about earlier with Outside, I like where it's placed on the project because it really does put a great capstone to the relationship arc, right? You go through all this, it's 4 or 5 songs, maybe 6 or 7 songs that talk about different aspects of presumably how her relationship with Offset fell apart. And then you get to Outside and it's okay, well, yeah, it's true. Hey, man, guys really hate it when the chicks go outside and get that outside. It's all happening. You know what I mean? So shout out to Cardi B. 1 second applause. 94, Fuencia, Dias de la Sierra. 95, Jump, Blackpink. 96, She Ready, Key Glock. Last week, 91, peak position 91, 3 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause to Key Glock. 97, Gnarly, Cat's Eye, Reentry. 1 second applause. 98, I Ain't Coming Back, Yuck Gross featuring Yuck Gross. 99, Which One, Yuck Drake and Central C. Last week, 98, peak position 23, 8 weeks on the chart. I was this close. I predicted this song would be off the charts in 4 weeks. And so this is week 4. That was 4 weeks ago when I did that. I made that prediction 4 weeks ago. And it's at 99. So it's barely holding on. Number 100, Let Down, Radiohead. Okay, so that's the Billboard Hot 100. Let me know what jumps out to you. Let me know if I missed anything. Let's take a look at the 200 as we do every week as well. Brand new number 1 on the Billboard 200, Breach, 21 Pilots, peak position number 1. 1 second applause. Legacy band comes back out, dropping tracks that people want to hear. This is a big win for Atlantic Records. Could be 2 weeks in a row. With Cardi B, because that's also on Atlantic. And so that could be 2 back-to-back number 1s for the label, something to look out for next week. Right now, I believe she's in pretty good position to take that spot. Shout out to the 21 Pilots. 1 second applause. 22, K-pop Demon Hunter slides down to number 2. Last week, number 1, 13 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. Number 3, I'm the Problem. Yes, you are. Yuck Gross. Number 4, Man's Best Friend, Sabrina Carpenter. Number 5, Play, Ed Sheeran. Came in at number 5. I believe Ed Sheeran was on Atlantic, and so I guess it's tough to compete with 21 Pilots because I think they're on the same label as well. But let me know what you think about this Ed Sheeran project. I haven't heard it yet, but we've basically been calling this all summer. You know, whenever the Ed Sheeran joints would pop up, I'm like, why are these not sticking? Why I'm not really hearing them? And so perhaps that's a lead up to previous chart topper Ed Sheeran coming in at number 5 this week with the project. Number 6, Swag, Justin Bieber. Number 7, You'll Be Alright, Kid, Alex Warren. Number 8, SOS, SZA. Last week, number 6, peak position number 1, 145 weeks on the chart. Record breaking, keeps record breaking. 1 second applause. Number 9, One Thing at a Time, Yuck Gross. Number 10, I Barely Know Her, Somber. Number 11, Last One, Gunna. Last week, number 9, peak position number 3, 6 weeks on the chart. Still in the top 20. Great news for Gunna on that one. 1 second applause. Number 12, Karma, the 4th album, Stray Kids. Number 13, Debbie TR, Mas Photos, Bad Bunny. Last week, 16, peak position number 1, 37 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause to Bad Bunny. I had a friend of mine, her and her homegirls went to go see Bad Bunny's show at a bar on Amazon because his tour began last week. Now, we talked about this, about how Bad Bunny decided not to have U.S. tour dates because he was worried ICE would come to his shows and he didn't want to risk his fans or put his fans at risk. But they were saying that concert with Bad Bunny was ridiculous. I got to check it out. I haven't seen it yet, but this is also another project to me to look out for when it comes to album of the year at the Grammys, because this is a big project and Bad Bunny's a massive artist. 1 second applause to Bad Bunny. 14, Short and Sweet, Sabrina Carpenter. 15, Color Outside the Lines EP, Cortis, new entry. 1 second applause. 16, Hamilton, an American Musical. 17, So Close to What, Tate McRae. 18, Dangerous the Double Album, Yuck Gross. 19, Stick Season, Noah Kahan. 20, Some Sexy Songs for You, Party Next Door, and Yuck Drake. And then down here at 23, back up here, Rising Again, Massa. YoungBoy Never Broke Again last week. 25, peak position number 6. 8 weeks on the chart. It's moving up again, and this tour is a big reason why. Let me know what you guys think about chart report this week. What jumps out to you? Is there anything that I missed? Should I do a breakdown on YoungBoy? Let me know if you guys want to see something like that. My name is Justin Hunt. Like and subscribe to the channel. Follow at The Company Man on everything, including The Company Man podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. It's all happening.
Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. The mathematical breakdown of this mighty game of rap we in. It's boom bapping. Systematical culture views us radical, it's all happening. Shaking hands and dapping it. Life through the lens of hip hop, from trip hop to yes, dog. You don't stop, you don't stop. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening.